What makes you so eligible? Okay.
Welcome, welcome. We're talking backstage about the tiny drop, but it is July 30th. We're still in July. August is right around the corner. We're episode 59, so number 60 is right around the corner. And we've got Joey back. Joe Paolini, welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, good to be back. Been doing a lot of traveling, which is fun and exciting, but it's also nice to be home, be able to be back on the show. So
Yes.
happy to be here.
Love that. Well, we are going to switch up the schedule a little bit and hear all about all things Deb in the second half of the show today. Just to keep everybody on their toes. Why not? I know the producer. Feely is hammering some tacos because it's Taco Tuesday.
Thank you, Grandma.
And we are going to catch up with her a little bit later and hear what's going on. Although I feel like I'm tired of the Mercury retrograde, I gotta say.
Yeah, why does it keep
happy
coming
news.
back? What is
I
this?
know. It's like it's a cycle or something, right?
It's like it just keeps going retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
Is that backwards? I don't know.
It appears to be, but it's not. But yeah, we're about to enter in a Mercury retrograde. So much fun.
Can't wait. It always treats me super good. We've got Lord Beluga, aka Axeman, aka Mr. Algo Active. How are you?
Excellent today. That's wild out there. But
I'm digging your NFT. Is that an NFT shirt?
No, this is Ultimate Frisbee back in the day.
Oh, I totally
2016
from
League
here.
Champs.
It's that yellow or it's that orange. I know what
It does look like an NFT shirt, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Low-key fisherman.
I have a lot of windows open, so everything's quite small.
It's like it's the same color, 100%. Like
Ted's here. Ted, buddy, you always help us get through the show, but you got some sports for us. I'm excited.
Yeah, we've got a good show for you today. Definitely a little bit more U.S. oriented, just because that's where my allegiance lies when it comes to the Olympics. But I've got a couple good storylines that I think are really interesting, featuring some just people from a lot of different kind of story arcs. So we've got comeback stories, we've got interesting analytics stories. We've got health.
And you're going to
stories.
tell us how to actually watch them, right? Because this borderline boomer is like, how do I stream the Olympics? So you're going to tell us all about it.
No. Don't worry, Lugash. I got it.
I don't know.
Well, what you do need to know, which we were filling some people in backstage, is that you can go to Tiny Man and see if you got an airdrop, which everybody lives an airdrop. But I also am really appreciating all the Tiny Man art. And I meant to change my PFP, but I've got a good thumb that's got Tiny Men all in its teeth that I think is very cool that I got to whip out in honor of that tiny token. So I've done it and saw how much. I didn't get that a ton because I'm not a trader, but I got mine. Joe, did you see if you have any tiny?
I have not checked yet. No.
You should have at least some for participating at least once or twice because of the way that it's structured. The airdrop is you get a certain minimum amount based on if you've actually just participated, and then depending on what your activity on the platform is, whether it be swapping, farming, liquidity provision, or holding, I think, the certain Tiny Man NFTs, then you could get a proportional amount additionally.
Nice. Okay. Good to know.
So
it was super easy. I connected my wallet. It was like, you get this. And it gave me a breakdown. Like, this is because of pools and this is because of your trades. And there were two categories I didn't get anything for because I had never done whatever those two categories were. But
farm.
I don't know. Maybe not on Tiny Man.
I got a farm.
I feel like I do.
You got our farm. You got John's
It was too long. I didn't read it. I just saw there was a breakdown of where the tokens came from and went, okay. I didn't look, but I've got to believe that I farmed on Tiny Man at some point. I do want to say hello to, I think this is Mute. Hello. Perdoodles is here. Hi, Doodles. Zarmian's here. And Algo League's sending Eddie some love. He starred in that amazing series of ads. He got his own series. Pretty big, right? 8 ad series. It was awesome. So if you haven't checked out the hot dog commercial or hot dog stand commercial featuring the idea of an atomic swap, it's pretty cool, and it's got our friend Eddie on it. So, and Caitlin, who I met when I was in New York. So we're gonna do that. But to switch things up today, we're gonna start with some NFT flex time.
Oh shit.
Hello.
So
I'm trying to push buttons and do stuff.
Neat.
we threw you out of order, and you're like, "Yo, what?"
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? I can do this. We got this. Let's see. Dumb Gen X, which always makes me feel bad saying your screen name because I really don't think Gen X is dumb. Just
You don't? Have you
out
met Gen X?
there.
No comment.
Wait, is Ted Gen X?
It's
Yeah.
not nice to call
Oh,
people.
okay, yeah, it's track.
That's Ted's alt. I'll be all right. A shitty kitty. Very cool. I dig it. He's watching a chart go up. I don't know what chart he's looking at, but I can get behind that.
Hopefully
Yeah.
the tiny chart in celebration of today.
Straight up, Tiny.
We'll see. GFY, Baggy, what you think? It's an upgraded Hamidin. Is that how we say that? Hoymidin?
Hoy maiden.
Yeah, thank you.
doesn't
I
Hamidin sound.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I like the gold on it. I like gold on black. Sometimes the problem with gold from what I've seen before is that like if it's on a brighter background, then it all just kind of blends together and looks like just like kind of all the same.
Oh, not this one. We're crisp. I like it.
Yeah. Good contrast.
It's almost got some Vlad vibes with that amount of contrast that it's pulling. I dig it. It's a solid flex.
That's huge.
Lord Beluga's flex. I can't see what's on my screen. Okay. Recent pickups. I picked up like not one, but 2 or 3 maybe of these. But if anybody missed it, Dale, I lovingly refer to him as D-Fart because that's his screen name. I didn't pick it out. D-Fart, yes. He's an artist. He's multi-chain, but he's been doing some Algo-inspired stuff. And I think we all know that this is supposed to be me in the picture. No, he did a drawing of Luga. It's amazing. It's got the weight that is Algorand. You're lifting us all up. But you've also got it like burned into your back.
It's the muscles. The muscles have been trained.
Your muscles are
okay. Yeah.
Nice. And you're hanging on with one hand or one arm. That's the climber, but you still got the axe. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Which I recreated that today, and I can do that exact move. So feels pretty cool.
I mean, was an A dangling from your weighted belt?
I mean, it wasn't an A, but it was 35 pounds. So like, find me a 35-pound metal A, and I can do it.
I'm not gonna lie, that's on the background of one of the windows that I can like barely. It's pushed off to the side of for later in the show, but it's like on repeat, so I can see like this much of Luga's back muscle in a window. It's just on repeat in the back. It's how I get queued up for the show, y'all. And art by Felix, just in from K Friends. I didn't know that he was affiliated with that project. That's cool.
He did the art for all of it, yeah. So Miner's the dev, Felix is the artist, and then KNG runs it.
I did not know any of those things.
Me neither.
That's
Cool.
strong. It's got like 3 of the best.
I know. How do the miners do it all? I'm just saying.
You know, it's a good question.
That's amazing. Sam was telling Crypto Squench that would have been a good flex for flex time, but I'm not going to click on it because they should have. Yeah.
Ooh.
But I hope one day we see what Sam was talking about. You know, I'm going to do it on my off time and see what what they were talking about.
Oh
But
my gosh.
Gatekeep them. I like it.
Yeah, that's no comment.
Should I click on it and see what it is?
No.
It is from Jojo Rabbit.
Well, now you've
Really?
now you've just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling.
Like
We're
it's
looking. We're
Twin Stars.
looking. We're looking. Oh, it
I
is
re-
really good.
okay, that is pretty sick. Yeah.
And Sam was commenting to themselves. So I don't know what it means that they didn't take their own advice, but we'll fix
I mean, if you
this.
don't have blue check, you'd have to like take it down and redo it.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I respect. You could have quote tweeted it.
Oh my
I can
gosh,
never
guys,
find people.
We are being so picky right now. This is infuriating.
I mean, just like etiquette wise, like, do you comment below or do you quote tweet? Like,
Etiquette-
is it weird to
etiquette-
quote tweet yourself?
Ugh.
I do it a lot. So
I liked it. I'm glad we found out what it was. It was good. And Leslie posted Mr. Meep already lost an eye fighting through the Bull Run trenches. So it's fitting he needed an amulet of protection everywhere he adventures to from now on. Thank you, Shep, for the items in the pre-sale. I like a good Shep. Meep.
Me.
When Ted's like, you're picky, I'm like, Meep.
Not like that. Never mind.
Meep.
Never mind.
All right, DC Perp, King of Broken Hearts. I saw this one this morning and I was like, this is a good one. It's all perp, but it's all black. So we're missing out on a little bit of it, but they're all amazing.
That's a good black.
I'm a fan. Yeah. It's crazy.
Purple.
Oh, are they all flats?
They're all Vlads.
Ooh. That's impressive.
This one's got some like Badu vibes. You guys remember the photographer?
Oh, like Baidu
that was
photography?
around? Yeah. Is that how you say her name? I don't know.
Baidu?
But yeah.
Pretty good.
Baidu. If it can be mispronounced, I'm gonna get it this
We'll
show.
do it.
I promise I
know.
will say it wrong today for you. Algolum. Happy Taco Tuesday. Described a Wizards of Algo for a Baitu raffle. I don't know. Is that how you
Batu,
say it?
Yeah. That's from the
Batu.
golems.
Okay. Golems is how you're saying it. Okay, we know.
Yeah.
We know where you
Only if
stand.
you're English do you say goblin. We're just really into Lord of the Rings.
Every week we go through this.
It's important.
Every week.
One day we'll get it, Ted.
No. In fact, actually, I think it's better for the bit.
What happens first? I'll go to $1 or IRL figures out how to say golem.
Oh
Okay,
my
to
gosh.
be fair, I was raised in a mixed English household. So like my mom does
Mixed
say,
with Old English and New English, or what? lady?
like my mom doesn't say tomato, she says tomato, and she doesn't say garage, she says garage or garage. Yeah,
That's just Wisconsin.
it's not my fault. I'm confused. It's my mom's fault. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, so you should say
One-
golem.
Run away from the source of your problem.
Gollum.
Okay,
Golly
now-
gee gollums.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Vulture. It's Vulture's birthday. Feely got her flex in while everyone else was ragging on me. Happy birthday. We've had him on the show. I bet he'll be playing poker later if I had to guess. So welcome. All right, Luga, I know you need to run soon. You want a quick recap some Algo Active?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I'm giving it away. Holla. Ooh, look at that video. Welcome to Who Is Active right now with me, the guy who just says pull-ups too much on your feet. You're tired of it. And the black screen next to me. We're friends. So yeah,
Hi,
we're talking
I'll
about.
be here with
there
you.
you are, IRL. Hey,
I'll be here with you. Why not? I'm not
I
scared.
thought I'd be alone.
No. But I was looking for, because I had it all queued up. And yes, this is the video that was like at the top of the feed when we were talking, and it was off in the corner for this segment later. And I was like, it's got Luga's back muscles just down in the background. But this is the masterpiece
That's the D-fart.
Yeah, I feel like we needed to get the kids involved to make like a paper A to put on either side of the weight or something, so that it
Okay.
looked-
I mean, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
It's pretty amazing though.
It's
All
pretty
right,
fun. It
so I
wasn't as
think
hard as I expected.
you're telling us to spark joy, right? A future.
Yeah, Spark Joy.
still-
You got what? One more day to Spark Joy? Day and a half?
Oh, you can spark joy anytime, but yeah.
How many days? That's
Okay.
true. That's true. That's true.
And
But
I told
think
you I picked
today-
up a Dale piece for you to give away at some point too.
For me. Ooh. Yeah, I
So,
think all the unsold ones he's gonna give to me, and I'll
ooh,
just hand them out like hotcakes.
nice.
Or maybe I'll
Well,
hoard
there's
them
only a
myself.
few. There weren't a ton. I think there were only 20 editions.
I
Is
think
that right?
30 total, and there's
30?
17 left as I checked like 2 hours ago.
Ooh, okay. I picked up 2 or 3, like I said, just because I wanted.
And he's giving away all the proceeds, so everything goes to Algo Active, so that I can just like keep giving it away to people that work out or Spark Joy or do whatever.
I love that. Did you see Shaggy Bigfoot was out?
Gee, ice caves?
Amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Those
That's got to be
views.
Colorado then, right? Maybe.
I mean, I always thought Bigfoot was in Canada, but I don't know about that Bigfoot. I
That
just
makes
mean in general, like in my head, Shaggy Bigfoot and Yeti and Ice Age Trails, even though we know he's Wisconsin, they're all in Canada. Somewhere snowy.
Definitely.
All right, so I don't know who taught you how to move like that, but that was pretty impressive and a fun way to get active. I know a lot of people dance. I saw a really good shuffle video from another chain, and I thought, I bet Feely taught him how to do that shuffle.
Well, definitely.
It's really
Definitely. We need
And
shuffle.
then there was me outside in my garden. It's just a patch of
That's
milkweed. But
beautiful.
yeah, so getting outside is good. Lifting weights if that's what you're into. Hitting the gym, climbing stuff.
There's been a lot
Right.
of running on the timeline lately. Mauger just did an insane run. I think he tried to do like a 50 miler. Insanity. So like people are getting it. People are getting it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being a good example for us. I look at it and think I should do something today.
It's kind of the only reason I do stuff some days. So like today is a rest day in my program, but let's do a little one arm hang just to have fun. So it keeps me active, keeps me going.
A little one arm hang, holding an axe, and an extra 80 pounds or whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, it's just lat wrap.
Fair enough. Let's get us back to the welcome scene here. All right, so we've got everybody back. I know Luga said he was on a time crunch today, but we have been waiting to hear how Joe's trip went.
Yeah, Joe, what the heck, dude? Sorry, that was a little aggressive.
We are devs, right?
Are you a dev?
You're
He's a
totally muted.
Oh, you're see, he's not a developer. Oh my goodness.
He's a
He
developer. He
was
doesn't know
scared you were
UI,
going to be
Ted.
too hard on him, Ted.
He builds the back end.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a
I know how to
fucking-
build it. I don't know how to use it.
He
But...
doesn't need mute buttons when he's coding.
Oh goodness.
You're here. I bet you're super stoked to be back. You're like, man, it's felt like ages.
Yes, it's very nice. Traveling is very fun, but also it messes up your whole schedule, like your jet lag and not being able to home and doing things like the show that you normally do. So it's nice to be back, and I don't have any travel plans for the rest of the year so far. So should be
You're locked
should
and
be pretty
loaded.
chill.
I just
Yes.
think you probably procrastinated making them. I bet you will be at least 3 places before the end of the year.
At least.
3 to 5 would be my guess.
You
Yeah,
spend
that
all
might
this
end up
time
happening,
moving at the beginning of the year, only for you to never be where you actually
I know,
move.
yeah.
Whatever.
It's like a parking spot where when you forget where you park, except Joe's like forgetting where he left all of his stuff.
Flies back to Boston. It's like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you were in Germany, if I'm not mistaken, not for DevCon, but something similar called We Are Devs, right?
Yes, yeah. So We Are Developers, it's a general purpose web conference. So it's not just Web 2, it's not just Web 3, it's like any sort of developer comes, and there was 15,000 people there. That was pretty crazy.
Well, I dig
Do they
it.
all
And
have
I
Algo
saw
wallets
some
now?
posts. You guys look like you were a pretty popular attraction. Like you guys had
Yeah.
packed houses in a lot of the like little clips I saw Chris post on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, we were doing a demo of Algo kits every like 30 minutes, and we always drew a pretty big crowd. And I think at the end of the conference, so conferences normally like you have a badge to enter, and then you can show people at booths your badge, and they can scan it to like get your contact info. And
Mhm.
we got the contact info of 1,000 new developers just from
Wow.
2 days at the conference. So yeah, we
Okay.
were quite busy, but it was good.
That's
Had a lot
huge
of
though.
yeah, and we had a lot of really good discussions. One of the cool things about going to these Web2 conferences is a lot of people are really interested in the tech, right? Like if we go to Web3 events,
It's token. How can I make money?
exactly, yeah, it's more of like a finance conference than a developer conference. But this was all about the developers. It was really, really cool, and we got to flex our tech, which is what developers care about. So it was pretty.
Well, and I feel
pretty
like if you're not
impressive.
in the blockchain scene, but you know a little bit about tech, you hear about the big ones, you kind of have a rough idea if you're technically inclined how they might work.
Yeah.
And so to kind of like have that in the background and kind of like know a little bit about like what it is and how it might work, and it just not being realistic due to costs or fees or time or lag or any of those things. And then for you
Yep.
guys to roll up and be like, actually,
Yeah,
trilemma
exactly.
solved was cool.
Yeah, yeah. And a big thing for us was, talking about how it's not like expensive and slow like developers think, and also being able to show them like real projects that are using Algorand. And because that's a thing, a lot of developers like they hear about this new, like at any conference, there's a lot of very new, interesting tech. Like AI, of course, was really big this year, but for a lot of developers, it's hard for them to realize how to actually use this tech. So the fact that Algorand has actual projects that has, like TravelX, for example, has like millions of users, right? That's really powerful to show developers. So yeah, it was really, really exciting. And I hope not myself specifically, but the foundation will be going to more of these events and engaging with these developers more, because I think it really clicked with them.
Joe gets extra credit for being extra algo active, globe trotting, preaching the good word at algo. It's amazing. You deserve a little rest, relaxation.
It was
but
1 month. It was running miles, and then now it's going to be airline miles.
that's how Joe's getting to the moon. That's how
Oh.
he's mooning. He's saving up all those air miles.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
what were you more excited about, all of the people that were developers that were, or was it like the amount of interest that was exciting, or was it just the number of new eyes? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for this, like personally for me, I really like just like having like the one-on-one conversation with people and like learning about, what their conception of blockchain is and like how we fit into that, and like seeing that like aha moment when we show them how easy, it is with the Algo kit. That's really cool. And I think kind of at a higher level, like my goal and like our goal in general for these events is to like really not so much like pitch them Algorand, but just like pitch them blockchain, and then they associate Algorand as being like the blockchain to use, right? So like, because especially if a developer doesn't know much about blockchain, like things like instant finality, right? That's something we talk about a lot. It matters a lot. If you're not blockchain familiar, like you would think blockchains are instantly final anyways, right? Like you just think that's how it would work. So it's like an interesting, different way of talking to developers. But yeah, it's really cool to see the gears turning as people start realizing that they can actually use this stuff for their projects.
Do you find what specific part of blockchain do you find people are most interested in? Is it something about like a decentralized ledger, or is it smart contracts? Is it asset management in terms of, or tokenization?
Yeah, I think I mean, one of the big use cases we talk about is like tokenization, and I think a lot of people are interested in that because that's something that's very like at the end of the day, it's like a digital representation of something in the real world, right? And so
Mhm.
like it's something that can easily like resonate with people. And I think in general, like one of the themes that we kind of drive across, like all of the example projects that we talk about and like how they can use it, is just like this general idea of like disintermediation, right? Where like you as a developer and your end users don't have to rely on these like centralized services. And I think developers they know the pain points of, especially if they've worked in areas where there's a lot of like regulation and then red tape and stuff. Like they know that pain point. So I think that also like really resonates with them. And just being able to see like one project we talked about is Lofty, right? Being able to see like how using this technology in the background, like to understand Lofty, you don't have to understand blockchain at all, but
Almost,
blockchain just enables that to work better, right?
yeah, it's almost you have to understand real estate and understanding that, and I think that's always interesting too. I just found it like with developers in general. Is there a specific thing that a lot of them tend to want to tokenize, or is there something that like you're specifically trying to be like, hey, you do it like this right now, but instead you could be doing it like Y?
Right.
Is there a specific like procedural difference, or are you just trying to kind of more give them the foundation of tools and hopefully building whatever um, kind of opportunity or business venture or whatever you want to call it project in the same manner that you're talking about, where it's focusing less on Web 2 and yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so most of the conversations are a little bit more like theoretical and just kind of
Mhm.
like I said, kind of to get the gears turning and help developers think about this sort of stuff. Especially because a lot of the conversations we have, like we talk to 1,000 people, right? So these are fairly short conversations.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times we don't have the full context of what they're currently working on, but we kind of provide them like the high level of like the way that this tool can be used. And generally what happens is they'll start asking questions like, um, again, a lot of these conversations are very like project based, right? So like we'll talk about Travel X and we'll mention like how like how there's like a peer-to-peer marketplace, and then they'll ask like, okay, so what does the user experience look like? What does that look like as a part of the tech stack? So as for them, it's really most about just like understanding the technology, and then kind of the follow-up is going to be like engaging with these developers, getting them to go to our boot camps and like interact with our tech in a more meaningful way, and then that's when they can start like plugging it into their projects and like bringing fruition to their ideas.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that we're kind of approaching it from a few angles. So for years, we've seen people come into this space who don't really like code or program, and they've like learned to pick it up. I'm segueing into something cool I want to demo for today's demo day, but I think it's nice that we're also reaching the devs where they are, right? Like we can't teach everyone to be a dev realistically to show the use cases of NFTs. So I feel like we're at this point where there's like enough that we've kind of bootstrapped to show, hey, this is what you could do. So one of those people that has learned to code that I'm uber proud of is Algo Quilt. Yeah. So big OG in the space. I'm a fan. I've been collecting since Quilt Squares way back when on AB2. But that is today's demo, and I'm going to try to walk you through a site that they've been working on, which is pretty cool. Y'all are ready? Nope, that wasn't it. Let's try this. There we go. Okay, so this is the basic page. And if you go to, I found this last night, the little Twitter thing, you can see everybody who's kind of, if you go to their Discord, it's like a basic neighborhood. They got a couple projects all kind of in the mix that find their home in that basic Discord. So that was kind of like a cool cheat I found. I was like, oh, there you go. I constantly, unless I want to go to Discord and kind of look at it, those are some of the projects that are affiliated with it. So Quilt did not know how to code at all, as far as I know, when they started this. And because of the schedule, they're in a different continent. It just didn't work out for them to be able to demo it. So I said, I will try. So now I'm going to scan this with my phone. I've got the...
What if I scanned it first? That'd be kind of funny.
Oh, we could have connected with your wallet.
Oh,
That's
dang
a
it.
good point. You missed that opportunity.
Why did I say something even? What am I thinking?
Right. You already have your OG Buddy collectible. So if you didn't have a collectible OG Buddy, it would tell you could shuffle one. But then it goes into the project info. So I got told that if I click on, sorry, I've got a bunch of windows open. I'm probably not doing the best job, but I'm supposed to be able to search. Let's try this again. Tools. There we go. We go to their basic tools, and let's just say, based on my assets, because I'm connected, it'll tell me like what I'm earning for the NFTs I hold. So I've got some basic. I don't hunt, so I don't have any treasure or pizza. I'm sorry. I do have some Babbitt bucks and some Nico. And then it says there's some missing ones here. So like I need to be opted in to get these, and it'll tell you if you need to opt in, what you need to opt into, and what you'll get for everything. So I was told that, yeah, so like I'm earning 693 basic a week and just over 1,000 Nico and 19 Babbitt bucks, and it's kind of cool. So if I wasn't opted in to basic, it would tell me like, hey, you're missing out on so and so. Earn none. Okay, my assets earned none for that. So I don't know. I'm still messing around with it. I know that they did say that a lot of people could be added if they wanted their project listed. It's kind of just been limited while they're in development to projects that they're already kind of involved with within their Discord. But I think that that's kind of a cool tool that if it scales, it could be really helpful and really help drive home some of the utility cases that people are making for NFTs. It's like, you know, it doesn't do you any good if you don't know and if you're not collecting them. So I am pretty impressed.
What's the website again?
Let's see. I have it here. I'll copy paste it because it's a long URL, but it's basic/shuffle/test.vercel. I'll put it in I'll drop it in the comments right now.
Great.
Thank
and
God.
I know
Sorry, go
Doodles
ahead.
is in the chat saying,
I was just going to say, thank God Doodles is in the chat.
and we have Quilt learning all of this in 3 months, which I think is, it's particularly impressive to not only learn something like this, but in, the speed with which you did it. So.
When they have so much in their Discord, I'm just going to tell everybody right now, like if you go in the GM, they remind you to flex for our show every week. It's very cool. It's a very inclusive group. And I love the concept behind basic. Like I drive a white Explorer. I like caramel macchiatos from Starbucks. Like I'm not ashamed to be basic. Like there's something about that. Like I'm comfy in that basic. And I don't know, that's just how that group feels. So I was happy to try to do my best to show off something kind of cool that they had done, which is cool. Like, I'm learning what I'm earning for the different things that I'm holding, which is pretty cool. But like I said, definitely check out their Discord too. I like that it's collaborative and that it's home for a lot of projects, and all of them kind of, like I said, have the same very cool, very welcoming vibe. So if you're thinking, hey, my NFT collection earns this token and I want that to show, I bet if you message Doodles or Quilt and asked, Quilt would get it on there for you. So something kind of cool. We're proud to show off that it was made straight from an Algo fam OG learning to code that like couldn't have done this when they joined the Algo fam. It's pretty amazing. So I'm excited that we got to show it off today. Quilt, thanks for letting me give it my best shot.
That's really cool.
I just bought this one.
Oh,
Ooh.
what?
You bought a
just bought
koala?
an NFT.
No.
Did it cost you a whopping 1 Algo or something ridiculous too, right?
69.
Oh, you got
Oh,
it
you
on
got
secondary.
Cute,
Okay.
little
Yeah,
buddy.
I
Cute.
contributed to the community.
I love that.
Good job, Ted.
Well,
Put
what
on
I
hashtag
love about
Olympic
it though
next
is
time.
there's always a way to get in the basic family for like almost nothing. Like if you don't have any of their collections, which I know some of the collections they just completed, like the basic buddies I think are finally done, right? But now there's these shootout ones that are going on. I think those were 25. There's always like kind of cheap entries for them. So I'm just checking on the chat. Nice demo summary, IRL. It's really useful, especially to show you what you're missing from each project. An opt-in button and everything. See, I was already opted into everything, but if you're not, there's an opt-in button. That is very cool. Still in beta. I love that. Awesome. Looks like AP's in the house. Hey, AP, we miss you, buddy. And then, yeah, I don't know if there's a shorter or more direct link, but this is the link that I had for that. So I think anytime somebody takes on something new that they haven't done before or try to learn a new skill, and it's something like this that benefits other people, like, to win, you win, you're the winner. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Ted, are you dying to talk sports? Are you like, that's nice, I got my buddy, let's go? Or
Yeah, no, I was looking into I signed into the website and did a couple other things too. But yeah, I'm ready to go. And
secondary. Please hold.
Luga, if you need to jet out of here, I totally understand. My Olympics talk is can be a little bit intimidating for amateur athletes like yourself.
Oh, sir.
Well then. You went hard.
I didn't.
I was going to
Uh,
listen in the car, but now I'm not going to.
Oh my gosh.
Call me
We need
amateur.
those extra views.
I kid.
Let's throw down, Ted. Go hang from something. One arm, okay?
Oh, man,
joke's on you. We're going to go to sports, and Luca's going to hang out in the backstage and just mess with you.
Just the whole time. Just not going to stop talking.
Introducing the sports stuff section, brought to you by yours truly, where we have the Olympics special. That's right. We have the Olympics. It is the 2024 Summer Olympics going on in Paris, France. Français, parlez-vous français? Mademoiselle, escargot, Rudy Gobert. Anyways, we have a quick little medal count update, which again is going to be a little bit behind because as we have stuff going on right now, but as you can see, we have this way right here. We have the USA leading in the total cumulative medal count at 20, whereas Japan is leading in the gold medal count at 7. Which is very incredible. I've got a couple good, interesting storylines to kind of talk about. Again, it's a little bit U.S. oriented. Sorry, my bias is showing. But some of the most notable things are the U.S. men's gymnastics team surprised everyone by securing a bronze medal after a pretty significant medal drought beforehand. While the women's team has always been pretty exceptional thanks to Simone Biles, the men's team has had a little bit, they've been kind of up showed. However, this time around, a key factor to their success was switching their who qualified. So they have 5 different people that qualify for a series of events, and the whole concept in the past was that you would it was just the best 5 cumulative gymnasts would take place, and that's kind of it. And ideally, one gymnast is good enough to be able to participate in everything. Now, this time around, the algorithm said, no. you should have someone that specializes in this pommel horse because everyone else sucks. But if you can get one guy to do really good at it, then maybe that's going to be your best bet. And sure enough, Steven Nedorosik, who is a specialist in the pommel horse, made it happen for them to get a bronze medal, which was really interesting because at the other 4 events, they just the camera panned to him just sitting on the bench and he just wouldn't participate. And he's just sitting there waiting for his turn. And then finally, when it came for his time to shine, he did exceptional. We'll follow that up with the UN's men's national team, who scored 4 goals for the first time ever in an Olympic competition in a major beatdown against New Zealand. Right now, they're still in these kind of group stages, but it's looking like the U.S. is going to be able to qualify for the knockout stage, knock on wood. But with Spain being upset by Egypt, that puts the Spaniards in the American side of the knockout bracket, which should cause some challenges, as that's an unexpected tough opponent. Now, then again, if they lost to Egypt, we'll see. The other really interesting kind of individual spotlight that I want to mention is an individual named Chase Bundiger, who is in the beach volleyball. Now, beach volleyball, the medal hasn't happened yet, so this has just started. But his path to the Olympics is certainly one worth noting. Now, I think some people are very familiar with NBA stars like Blake Griffin and Steph Curry. Now, back when they got drafted in 2009, our buddy Chase was also drafted in that same class. He was in the second round and had a very modest 7-season career in the NBA. But not to be deterred after retiring, he said, you know what? I'm going to take up volleyball. And sure enough, he worked hard, and now he is competing in the Olympics, where he just won his first match in the first game against the home crowd of the French, against a French team, I should say. And with his a partner, Miles Evans, they have been able to be very successful. I've watched some of these highlights, and a lot of it is just kind of basketball kind of moves, but he's doing it on a pile of sand. So, hey, shout out to him. And lastly, we have the Seine River, the River Seine, which was once heavily polluted and then almost got clean. But then now, thanks to, if you watched the opening ceremony, I'm sure you could see that there was a lot of rain, a lot of storming going on. And what had happened was that storm and that rain washed sewage back into the river, which caused unacceptable levels of bacteria. Now, as a result, this is a problem because the River Seine was supposed to be used as a legitimate venue for swimming events. They wanted to make this swimmable for the first time in over a century, really almost ever, if you really think about it, just considering, and I mentioned this last week, but just the structure of cities. You have this river. Do you just let your crap smell next to you, or do you put it in the river and have it float away? So, people never really have traditionally swam in rivers like that in mid or metropolitan areas. This just doesn't happen. And as a result, the billions that they've spent on this, I mentioned last week, have been kind of wasted. The men's triathlon, which was set to take place today, is getting pushed back to tomorrow because of the high bacteria levels. But to be honest with you, I don't understand how waiting one day is really going to help. There's not much cleaning they can do in 24 hours. And the nature of these things is that it's not just, they have pools. Well, IRL's asking, well, why don't you just swim in a pool? What's going on with that? The fact of the matter is you can't swim in a pool for some distances that are that long. These pools aren't large enough because, if that was the case, you could push off every 50 or 100 meters. And that pushing off would, you'd have the fastest time ever by a mile. So traditionally, that's just how it's been. Supposedly, if the water quality levels don't get up to snuff, which I don't think they will, they're just going to cancel that part of the event, which in my opinion is like lame. A triathlon is swimming, running, and biking, and you're just going to cancel the swimming like that? Whatever. And IRL, you can push me back in as we final, kind of talk about that. But like, what the heck?
I wanted to know, and I haven't checked because you were going to tell me how I stream the Olympics.
Yes,
first.
Yes, you are right. I totally
missed
forgot
the
about
opening
that.
ceremony, and I heard that was talk aboutable, or like
it was talk aboutable. So let's back up here.
About
I'm going to start as if you do have cable and you're a traditional Gen X.
Sorry,
I don't
I'm a
know.
D-Gen. I don't have cable. What is that?
Okay,
I'm just
okay,
kidding. I pay the cable company for my internet.
Okay. Then in that circumstance, what you do is you go to peacocktv.com, and
Okay.
its plans start at $7.99 a month.
So I have to have Peacock.
You have to have Peacock. If you have a TV login, right? Like maybe if you're nice to me, I'll give you my cable TV login. And you can go.
You pay for cable, Ted?
And watch on NBC Universal or USA or a couple of the other niche channels or something like that. And yes, I do pay for cable. I watch sports. You have to have cable to watch sports nowadays. That's how it's always been. Now give it 2 or 3 years. Now it's interesting, like the NBA, for instance, we're talking about NBC. The NBA just signed a 11-year, $75 billion deal with NBC to have games on the NBC network.
I think I have Peacock. I feel like I probably do. But
so
a few months ago, I went through and deleted all of our subscriptions because I felt like I had 50 of them, and I figured we would resubscribe as so it might be something I have to re-up. But okay, I need to go back. I want to watch the opening ceremony, and then there's some of them that we really like. My kid likes the synchronized swimming. Hope that's not on the chopping block. But that reminds me of when it was it China, and they were worried about the air quality.
Yeah, well,
and they would put off these marathons and stuff for air quality, and I think, how much better is the air going to be tomorrow? But
the Olympics typically ravage any city that it kind of goes to, right?
Yeah.
So, and to be honest with you, there are never really any good cities that can host the Olympics. If you go kind of look back historically, Tokyo did a good job, but Tokyo also didn't have to deal with crowds. And that's a big component of the actual Olympics themselves. Like the fact that you don't have to worry about all of these extracurricular. It's just an Olympic village and venues. Guess where the next Summer Olympics are?
Where?
In the glorious City of Angels, Los Angeles.
Why?
So that'll be interesting and be fun.
It's like they thought of the most crowded city in America, and then we're like, "Yup, let's triple that city's population." Sounds good.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think it's overstated just how much it actually affects that because the Olympics is so long. People like trying to plan to go to Olympics. Like you have certain events. Like there's the opening ceremony, right? Which is, in my opinion, similar to like a Super Bowl, which LA has demonstrated within the last 3 years that they're very capable of hosting.
Oh, Ted's pro go to LA. Okay.
Now, I look at this because America is such a sports-centric culture. We have a tremendous amount of venues, right? And what I mean by that is you could go to USC's college football stadium. You could go to UCLA's college football stadium or either one of their just other associated athletic facilities, much less different sports teams and whatnot. And in Europe, again, there's some sports teams, but to the level that we have it in America, where it's we have a basketball stadium, we have hockey stadiums, they
did Colorado a while for Winter Games, not that long ago.
The Winter Games is also different than much is like 3 orders of magnitude down than
the summer.
Yeah, and
okay.
The Denver has never actually hosted the Winter Games, the Olympic Games. They were awarded the Olympic Games, but then Denver said no. They were the one of the few cities that have actually rejected it because they said screw it. There's too much politics around it. But in cities that are already fleshed out and already have a lot of growth, in my opinion, I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, this is LA's 3rd time hosting the Olympics, mind you.
I just think of what I see as their everyday traffic being more or less a standstill, and then being let's add to that, being crazy. But that's fine. We've got all summer to talk Olympics. I do want to get to Feely before we wrap the show, even though she's going to tell me how my shit's going to stop working and my phone's going to act up and my car's going to need fixed. it's okay. I'm ready. I do better knowing it's heading my way. You know what I mean? That way I'm not
Refresh my base.
surprised.
Gotta get
It's like
ready.
knowing what the weather's going to be.
I feel like it does. I like mentally dress for the astrological weather or something like that.
Yeah.
We're
That's
getting
too.
there. Here we go.
Hello. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I wanted to talk about the astrology of August. I can't believe it's already about to be August already. Like, where did the year go? But August is a very interesting month, an eventful month. It can be a chaotic month. So I'm just gonna give that to you. It's a good month to repair things. It's a good month to revisit things and reconnect with people. It's potentially not the best month to maybe make big purchases or to sign big deals and agreements unless they have been on like your radar for quite some time, or unless it's something that you've wanted to do for a while. But the most significant astrological event in August is Mercury retrograde from August the 4th to the 27th. We're used to it, right? So the general advice would be there could be like delays in traveling, or plan cancellations, having to reschedule your travel plans, maybe, or maybe the delivery guy misplaces your package or something along those lines. Communication might not go as planned. You might need to make clarifications, revisit the past, and so on. So things just might get lost in translation. Mercury retrograde is probably one of the most astrological events or transit everybody has heard about, even if you don't follow astrology. Um, but it's a little bit different this month because Mercury is in charge of other planets, which so Mercury is going to be the depositor, as we say in astrology. A lot of the planets in the sky, it's going to be the depositor of Venus, who is transiting Virgo from the 5th of August to 29th, and then it moves into Libra. Venus is going to be ruling over Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Gemini, and that's going to rule over Mars in Gemini. And Jupiter and Mars are going to come together, and that's probably going to be, I don't know. It kind of smells like a big, expansive trouble, like the kind of trouble where we can expect things to kind of blow out of proportion. We can expect challenges in communication. We can expect challenges in communication that reach a scale that maybe they should have not reached, or they would have not reached if this conjunction happened outside of Mercury retrograde. So big understandings on this sort of huge level, at a collective level, big disruptions in terms of transport, to the point where, I don't know, I'm seeing like people running around like chickens with their heads cut off, but no one knows what to think, no one knows what to do or what's causing the issue. Um, Mars and Gemini. Mars can get kind of angry, right? And Gemini is quite verbal. It's a Mercury ruled sign. It's mental. It's an air sign. It's fast. Algorand is a Gemini, by the way. So it's like zip zip. Anyways, so Gemini says what it wants. It has to verbalize things, and Mercury is retrograde. So potentially throughout the whole month, people can say the wrong thing. They can say things they didn't mean to, or say things they didn't think through properly, where they can say things that are based off of the wrong information or like incomplete stats or data, and then they regret it. So I would recommend that you be quite careful this month when jumping into conclusions in general. If I were to recommend a few days when it comes to being a little extra careful, I'm looking at I forgot, August the 14th, give or take like 3 days before or 3 days after. Yeah, that period is the most inflammatory, if you ask me. Maybe the 19th, but not so bad. So these days, that's when Mars comes together with Jupiter, and Jupiter expands everything that it touches. Mars accelerates everything that it touches. Mars is a planet of war. And then Mercury retrograde, like what the is going on? So there could be like things malfunctioning. There could be things that malfunction when it comes to transportation, when it comes to like maybe trains, when it comes to communications, when it comes to software, when it comes to like the internet, digital world. So yeah, August the 14th will probably not be the best day to be on the road or to deliver things or to make presentations or maybe make sales. Yeah, so with Mars and Mercury, it just makes the month of August a bit spicy. But because Mercury retrograde is in charge, yeah, that's why I recommend thinking things through properly, evaluating things meticulously and precisely, making sure making sure mistakes haven't been made, making sure that you are not rushing into anything in terms of reaching to conclusions, buying and selling, making purchases, and so on. Um, yeah, I know I jumped right in, but we're gonna make it. I know it feels not very positive, or it is, or like super kind of like auspicious. I'm not trying to be negative. It's not that bad, but you have to remember that Mercury retrograde is the trickster. Is the trickster. It's the Joker. Mercury rules Gemini, so things can go a little bit south, but it's really just a big headache. Really like making those annoying, like 1-800 number of phone calls. Like you're gonna be doing a bunch of annoying little things like that. I think maybe. So yeah, just take your time. Just take your time with communication and signing things. That's what I would recommend. But yeah, that's why we do astrology to stay prepared. Astrology is a manual. It's a life manual. Everything I talk about here is symbolic and archetypal. Archetypal. Can never say that word. Astrology does not predict concrete material manifestation because we have free will in making things happen, but it does help us to understand what the themes are, what the big themes are that we are dealing with, and how we can master them, and navigate, um, through them. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far,
I love that. I love it. I love it. It makes me feel a little less alone when things aren't going right. And I know it's like, okay, I'm probably not the only one dealing with this. Like, but also, Ted, all my misspeaking, I don't know. It's not my fault. Feely said
my
so.
fault.
That's all.
Mhm.
Okay.
Final thoughts.
Once again, just push the blame. Ira.
Yes.
Push the blame. Take the blame and
Put
push it
Ted
somewhere
back.
else.
We
Oh,
always need
hello,
something.
hello. Oh, this is 1-800 I'm pushing the blame to someone else.
I
It's
need
so
to.
funny. My grandma actually, so like with Mercury retrograde, there's a shadow period, and that happens 2 weeks before it actually goes retrograde. My grandma had ordered some wigs, and the wigs went to the wrong address. I thought that was fitting. And she had to call and try to get it returned, and it was a clearance item, and she was like, "I want my money back." And it was just funny. Yeah.
Aw, poor Mima. I'm
I know,
sorry
grandma.
about that. I can imagine.
I know. I
Oh
felt bad
gosh.
because she lost all her wigs during the move, and she only has one wig, and she had like 4 or 5. I have no idea what happened to them, but
Retrograde is getting her this time around.
so she's a Virgo moon, and Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. So it's like Gemini and Virgo are the ones that kind of feel it the most every time.
Oh, she's digging the new place though, right?
She is. Yeah,
I
yes. She has her
love
own
that.
restroom. She has her own. She has one of the. This house was like built on, so she has an old master room. So she loves it. Yeah, yeah.
She's got some space. I love that.
Then
Aw. Any final thoughts, Joe? I know it's good to be back and that your head's kind of spinning from all the stuff you've been doing, but like any final thoughts before we let you rest from your trip?
No, yeah, just like you said, just good to be back and looking forward. Like I said earlier, I don't have anything planned yet, so I should be able to be on the show consistently now for the rest of the year. So looking
I
forward
love
to
that. And I would love to hear more about the We Are Devs and how in that quick setting you were able to like get across the essence of blockchain, because a lot of times I know I have a hard time differentiating crypto from blockchain.
it.
And like I'm a huge blockchain advocate, but I'm not like a crypto advocate. And so yeah, in the coming weeks, I'm going to pick that brain of yours and figure out how we can all kind of perfect our elevator pitch when we run into somebody and don't have a long time and need to say what blockchain is. You know, I botch it at least once a week to someone new. So we'll all get better together. Until next week, I guess.
Bye, everyone.